Mrs. Levin Ramos, could you please call roll? Present.
Present.
Present. Cynthia Rice, absent. Mercurio Martinez.
Present.
Henry Carranza, absent. Esteban Rangel, absent. Karina Elizondo, present. Tita Cantuvela, absent. President Jerome.
Thank you. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Item number 3 is the approval of the minutes for regular board of trustee meeting of June 24th.
Make a motion for approval, Madam Chair.
So I have a motion by Judge Martinez, and I have a second by Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos. Any discussion? None heard? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. The next one is public testimony. Elizabeth, there is no public testimony. Thank you. The 5th one is recognition, communications, introduction of personnel, and new personnel actions for the month. Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, interim president. Today I have Dr. David Arrezola and Mr. Javier Cano, who will talk about the water distribution drives that we had recently.
Good evening, members of the board, college administration. My name is David Arrezola. I am the interim provost and vice president for academic affairs and compliance. A couple of weeks ago, here at the college, we partnered up with the city and the National Guard to do a couple of water distribution drives. Right. So just to give you guys a summary, we did 3 drives in total. 2 on Wednesday, July 7th, and 1 on Sunday, July 11th. On July 7th, we did Fort McIntosh and South Campus, and then we did an additional one on Sunday, July 11th there at the South Campus as well. So again, it was a good partnership between our Health and Safety Operations Center, our physical plant, helping up with the setup, campus police, helping with the traffic, and of course, Councilman Martinez at the South Campus, Councilwoman Cigarroa here provided the water. And, over at the South Campus, we had the help of the unit maker as well. So in total, we distributed about 3,000 cases of water those days. That's about, multiply times 24, about 72,000 bottles of water that we distributed to about 1,500 residents of Laredo. And that was, of course, due to the boil water notice that we had going on, right? And, but overall, that was it. It was a great effort, a great partnership, and a lot of water that we distributed that day.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you, staff members, for all the, I know one of them was quick notice, and everybody stepped up to the plate, got it done at the South Campus. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for all the efforts. I'd like to recognize, Chair likes to recognize Mrs. Tita Cantuvela, board member and present, and Ms. Cynthia Mares. Good afternoon, ladies. Anything else for Dr. Arrezola? Okay.
Just to add to just to add to your point, on that one day, it was last minute. I was out of town, and Javier and I coordinated all of this via phone with the city and Chief Hurd, and we got everybody together, including with the senior maker shop. But I don't know how I already kind of gave the presentation.
Board of Trustees, President Tijerina, administrators, team, Javier Cano, Safety Risk Manager for the record.
Again, I apologize, I was trying to make sure that I made it to this. I don't know how much Dr. Ray said, but in partnership with the city of Laredo, throughout this pandemic, we've really bonded, right? We've really come together, working together and really just depending on each other. So they realized and we realized that we were a phone call away. On a moment's notice, we're able to respond, to support our community, right? So with a moment's notice, approximately 3,000 cases of water were distributed. Approximately 1,500 local residents were received the waters, right? And again, it's truly a blessing for us to be able to stand ready and support the community. So thank you all for your support. And
We thank you. We thank you.
Thank you, everybody, because I know one of them was a short notice,
yes,
that we got the call at the last minute, but you all stepped up to the plate and did an outstanding job for us. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, forgive me, I ran over here, so I'm a little out of breath.
It's
But,
okay.
again, our council members, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Ciarroa, our campus police, physical plant. I mean, really, it's a phone call and the community do this, and everybody's answer is yes, where and when. So
Thank you.
again, I want to thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Rodriguez Tijerina?
Next, we have Dr. Nora R. Garza with the Be It Foundation Gala, as well as the LEAP Summer Bridge Program updates.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, and President Tijerina, Dr. Nora Garza for the record. I'm gonna go slow because I really want to show you some very beautiful pictures and I don't want to mess up. Okay?
Yes.
So we're gonna start off with the PowerPoints. And the first one I'm gonna share with you is Renta Yenta. And some of you know the phrase, so what a yenta is, a matchmaker. But our very skilled team of creative people actually wrote a play, and then they recorded it individually, and then they put it into a movie, and then they held it, and all within COVID. So I want to show you just some of the pictures of their production. And of course, Mr. Crabtree and company were the creators, and Mr. Hauserman. So let me read this to you because Mr. Michael Gonzalez was going to present it, and I want to make sure that I give due credit to everyone. Due to the current pandemic, our visual and performing arts has generated unique approaches to bring Laredoans entertainment in a fun and safe way, such as the first ever drive-in musical held a few months ago. Recently, they have innovated yet again, bringing a theatrical play that premiered as a movie called Renta Yenta. 5 actors and a complete production team came together virtually to write, direct, and produce a story with Laredoans in mind. In the span of around 2 weeks, LC Theater students wrote an original story about 4 individuals who signed up for a popular matchmaking service called Renta Yenta. The actors were then filmed individually to make the script come to life. Our production department outdid themselves in the editing process, making the film appear as though the actors are in the same location when they are not. Instead of performing live, the play premiered on the screen of the LCMFA Theater. This unique process was ideal for providing the community with a particular form of entertainment that defies the current pandemic's challenges. Many thanks to Dr. Joseph Crabtree and the Opera Workshop, who wrote and acted in the production. Mr. Bill Hauserman, who directed the production, and the Martinez Fine Arts Center staff and LCTV staff who brought the story to life on screen. Also, special thanks to the Community and Media Relations Department for their support and in the promotion of Renta Yenta. This just shows you the creativity of the folks at the college and in Laredo to make the best of this time. Another one that I wanted to share with you. I'll get this right. All right, is the BED Foundation. Some of you were privileged to attend. The BED Foundation is a new donor, a foundation for Laredo College. And they had their first gala here at the college. They recognized 8 students, and we did not know ahead of time who they were. This is the Vester family, and they are the prime donors of the foundation. In addition to the Hernandez family, they're both Laredo families that have founded this foundation, and it's already in linkage with Laredo College. And so you see Dr. C.O. Hernandez, who is the director. She is a licensed professional counselor, and we did not know that the lady in pink right there is one of our students. So there are different students from Laredo and other parts of the country. What's incredible about this scholarship is that it's like $5,000 a year, but they can keep getting it year after year until they graduate. So it's really quite something. And so this young lady, Florence Renteria, there's your mom, and one of the ladies from the BED Foundation. And of course, the Leaps, which she's in the Leaps group, was there at the ceremony. So they all joined in to congratulate her and her mom for getting that award. It was very well attended, as you can see. And we had members of our administration and our board present there. And we were just thrilled for this new connection. So BED Foundation is a new helper here with Laredo College. And then the one that I really want to show you today is our summer bridge from the Leaps. And you may recognize some of these folks. Ramos. The summer bridge is a leadership, excellence, and academic preparation in STEM group that we have. Of course, our new president here, Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, was welcoming the students, as we all were. Our project director is Rosemary Agüero Riojas, who has been with the group almost 10 years with a second grant. These are research mentors and advisors and rapid students from the college that have already graduated. Most of them that are up at the front have graduated. They were in the Leaps. Now they're at TAMU and beyond. They're, these are some of our beautiful students doing experiments. They came for 2 weeks, morning all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a lively group. It's the best ever. Every year they get better and better and better. And this group was no exception. Most importantly, the students that participated virtually last year, because our whole thing last year was virtual, they were invited to attend. So we had several students that started at LC last year, but joined the group live. So they were running, they had the egg drop experiment. They covered the egg, they had to take it over and see which one wouldn't break. They competed. Today's last day. They actually had a competition of cumulative points. They were into the green team, the pink team, the yellow team, the blue team. All together, they had 2 weeks of learning and fun. And they're all STEM majors. They're all very good students. And we're very, very proud of them. So that's a beautiful thing for us. And then right now, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sarapopa to tell you a little bit about the AIME becas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garza. Good evening, board members, President Rodriguez Tijerina, fellow administrators. For the record, Sara Alicia Pompa, and I'm Director of Donor Relations and Special Projects. And in keeping with the partnerships that Laredo College has with different organizations that provide alternate sources of funding for our students, I'd like to mention a little bit about our AIME becas program. The Consulate General of Mexico in Laredo, with the support of Mexico's Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores, through the Institute for Mexicans Abroad, hence AIME becas, calls on educational institutions and social organizations to participate in this AIME becas program. This opportunity is offered on a yearly basis. The scope of this program is to offer economic resources for Mexican students that are currently enrolled in an academic plan offered by an educational institution or by a social organization. Laredo College has enjoyed, thank you, this Imebeca partnership with the Mexican consulate for over 15 years. And so we're very excited about the fact that we have a continued collaboration with them. So this year, in July, we had the signing of the memorandum of understanding, or the MOU, between Imebeca's Laredo College. This year, we were able to secure $15,000 for students, $15,000. We will be able to assist 15 students with $1,000 each. It is noteworthy that the Laredo College has also provided a match for this particular fund. And so we're very excited. This particular scholarship supports students who are DACA students, students who are Mexican nationals, and or students who are of Mexican descent. And so we're very happy, we're very proud of the partnership we have enjoyed with them. And we look forward to continued collaboration and to assisting more students. And if you'll give me a second here, I've got the actual photographs of the event that took place back in July. So we have here Consul Juan Carlos Zaragoza and Mendoza Sanchez and Dr. Solis signing the agreement, exchanging the agreement, photo, and we have, of course, the presentation check. Mr. Michael Gonzalez, who was our MC, our board president, Lupita Cepeda, again, Consul Mendoza Sanchez, and that takes care of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pompa and Dr. Garza. Next, we have the personnel. We have Ms. Rebecca Blevins, who was promoted as dual enrollment coordinator. Mr. Hassan Escamilla, who was reassigned as the assistant professor of electronics. Ms. Denise A. Flores, promoted as senior workforce development coordinator. Ms. Brenda Martinez as director of continuing education. Ofelia Perez, promoted as an academic records specialist. Rosa Santos as dual enrollment coordinator. Roberto D. Solis as associate registrar. Arnolfo Trevino, assistant director of dual enrollment, and Dr. Diana Y. Ortiz as associate dean of strategic recruitment. And and Dr. David Arezola, interim provost, vice president of academic affairs and compliance. Dr. Veronica Martinez, interim dean of assessment and research. Myself, interim president, and lastly, Ms. Tracy Humphreys, reassignment as vocational nursing instructor, who will now be heading the vocational nursing and nursing assistant program director. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Any questions? Any comments? Yeah. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you. And thank you for the presentation, Dr. Garza and Ms. Pompa. You all have been busy. Thank you. We appreciate it. The next item we have is the faculty summit report. Mr. Cash Masahani. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
For the record, Prakash Mansinghani, President of the Faculty Assembly and Associate Professor of Government. I won't bore you with the other titles. If I may today, good evening to everyone, members of the board, members of the administration, faculty, staff, and community members. I want to start really quickly with, I think, the most important thing today, which is I'd like to start by congratulating our new college president. Interim or otherwise, she is our college president. And I would like to begin on behalf of the faculty to congratulate her and also everyone else who has stepped in, like our new provost, Dr. Ariozola, as well. We're especially proud of Dr. Rodriguez because she has broken through several barriers in her career to come to where she is today. Many barriers are obvious, being the very first woman president at Laredo College, and I think that's an amazing thing, if I may say so myself. Amen. And another thing that gives us a lot of pride in the faculty is that she is a former faculty member. She still is essentially a faculty member at this college, where she taught biology for several years. And Dr. Rodriguez has served in various positions, from the professor position, as well as being a department chair in her area, as well as being a dean for the Arts and Sciences Division, and then moving up and also be the provost, the chief academic officer, the provost of her area, now as college president. So we're particularly proud of you because you're one of us. So that gives us a lot of content. And also, we look forward to working with you to continue delivering on the college's mission, something we've never wavered before. I'll make today's presentation on the additional items as short as I can, because some of it I've already presented on before. The first thing that I wanted to mention, you won't be able to see much of what it is, so I'll just elaborate on what's up there. The last board meeting that we had in June, I presented a little bit about what faculty had been doing, and I've given you an update on some of the work that they had done converting their classes to the online platform. And I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate those faculty on what they've done. The pandemic has proven that our faculty is malleable, resilient, and can teach a variety of different modalities, whether that be online, hybrid, or face-to-face. They've proven that they can do very well in that setting. And if you look at where faculty were 1 year ago from today, whereas the pandemic has gone like this, faculty's success rate in the classroom through the different modalities has improved markedly. Particularly, the thing I wanted to talk about is online learning. Is an area where faculty have online learning and hybrid learning, as well as in the classroom as well, is an area where faculty have excelled. And a lot of that has to do with the resources that our provost at the time and now president has put in place to ensure that our online courses have the highest quality of education that any college can offer. I shouldn't use his name, but there's someone in Nevada who recently called and said, "What are you doing over there? You're making headways. You're making waves. What's going on with your online learning? I'm jealous. Can you all come up here and talk to my faculty?" So whoever that is in Nevada is really jealous of what we're doing. But our faculty, let me round this up here, has come a long way with these online courses. If you look at right when we hit the pandemic and a lot of the things that our online courses were missing, they're not missing those components anymore. Some of the resources that helped us improve that is the e-learning center, where we now have a different division under the leadership of Dr. Elizabeth Rodriguez, and the virtual backpack that she put together along with her team to help the students succeed in these online courses. We've also had the Quality Matters Rubric, which Dr. Rodriguez has committed us to, which is offering the highest quality as per the Department of Education in terms of online learning. And we've implemented that across the board here on campus. And through that, we've also hired mentors. So where any faculty member might have been deficient in some of these areas or needed a little bit of improvement, people were hired to sit with them, whether virtually or in person, to help them improve their online courses through the vocational area with Linda Ramirez, in some of the academic areas, like myself, and in other areas, we work closely with them. So I wanted to make sure to spend a little bit of time to give you that assurances that you can really count on us to deliver on a variety of modalities and to show you where we've come from last year, night and day difference, especially with the online education, speaking for all of the faculty. So whatever, and of course now we have the new Academic Innovation and Technology Division, and part of the new area there is the Center for Teaching Excellence and Learning, which you've heard about from our president, which is to continue to improve in those areas. And several of us will be taking the lead on that project to continue improving on all modalities. So in this little area, whatever our challenges are, whatever students are showing that they need, just know that you can count on us to deliver whatever the modality will be. Whether our students want online, face-to-face, or hybrid, you can count on us to give the best that we have to offer. And the data is now showing we are ready to do this. To wrap this up, I've already made this, so I won't belabor the point. I know we're still in the middle of hiring firms and looking for all that stuff in terms of the presidential search committee, but I would reiterate very quickly that hopefully representatives from the Senate, the faculty assembly would be able to serve on that. I will not mince words. I definitely am hoping to serve on that committee. I know we've done things differently in the past, but I'm not afraid to stand here and say, I would like to serve on that alongside you all. I've worked with Ms. Jackie as well on a number of occasions, a trustee on various committees, and I've learned a lot about how board matters work. We served as well. And Ms. Ella and I have served as well. And recently, Ms. Midas and I served as well too. So excited to learn about that process. I'm not going to go too much into this one. We've talked about the cost of living adjustment. It continues to be a major issue of concern for the faculty. They do continue to call me and talk about the cost of living, and we know that that's only getting worse and worse. The data you see in front of you is the same I presented a month ago. But unfortunately, the reality is getting tougher and tougher for all of us. We really appreciate what was done earlier this year, and whatever can be done for all employees at this college. Remember, I'll always come up here and advocate for all of us, not just 1/3 of us. I would hope that the board try its very best to consider that. I know that's going to be a tough one. I look at the numbers and the budget, and I'm on the committee, so I know that's going to be a tough one, but whatever the board can manage, I know will go a long way to help all of our employees. And I'll leave it at that. Again, as always, thank you for the opportunity to continue directly speaking to you all about the great work that our faculty are doing. And if I will, one more time, congratulations, Dr. Rodriguez. We have a fantastic relationship. I've come a long way because of Dr. Rodriguez and I'm a better leader and a better faculty member because of you. So congratulations. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You can share it with your faculty and everybody. We thank you for being able to step up to the plate and do virtual. And now we're looking at virtual or online or
Whatever it might be.
or coming to the classroom. We really appreciate it, as far I speak for all the board members, and any board member can speak up as well. But we really appreciate everything that you have all done for us, because I know it's been very difficult for all of us.
It's been tough, but we've learned a lot, and the students have come a long way too.
And
So,
it's going to continue being a learning
yeah,
experience, but we're all in it together.
you couldn't have said it better. The staff also. Thank you.
Any comments? Chair recognizes Ms. Cantuvela.
Considering I was a faculty member, I commend you all tremendously, because we went on spring break, and came back online, and it's not an easy task. I taught online, and it's a hard thing to do, so. I commend you. I really honestly do. And, I wish there was anything, I'd love to do anything possible to help you all and to show our appreciation.
Anyone else? I'd like to recognize Ms. Elizondo.
Just wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you do and everything that the faculty continues to do. And you all never stop amazing me. It's always very rewarding as a board member to get compliments from our constituents, from students regarding our staff. So our staff and our faculty, and I was a student once too, and I always remember my professors, and it's good to know that we have people like you and like all of y'all here. So I want to thank you for everything that y'all do.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
make a motion that we acknowledge and approve item 7, the consent agenda from 7A all the way through 7A.
So I have a motion from Judge Martinez,
I'll second.
and I have a second from Ms. Tita Cantuvela. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. The next item is discussion and possible action. I have 8A, designation of officer for calculation of no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Tijerina. For the record, Cesar Vela, Vice President of Finance. This next item, we're asking that the board designate Ms. Patricia Barrera, Webb County Tax Assessor Collector, as the officer designated for calculating the no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate. This is being done to comply with Senate Bill 2, Texas Property Tax Reform and Transparency Act of 2019.
So moved.
So I have a motion by Judge Martinez. I have a second by Ms. Ramos. Any discussion? None heard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just for your information,
Chair recognizes Judge Martinez.
We have the presence of Ms. Barrera here.
Okay.
To acknowledge her.
Mrs. Barrera? Did you want to say something? Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to our board meetings.
Thank you very much. God bless you all. This designation, this designation is, part of the new, Senate Bill 2, when the reformation is taking place in property taxes. So every entity has to designate who is going to prepare the documents, and so I've chosen.
Good.
So, yes.
Very experienced.
Very
experienced. Thank you, Ms. Barrera.
It's in good hands.
Next item is discussion and possible action concerning the following matters related to appraisal roll and tax rate. Mr. Cesar Vela, and that's AB 1 is approve the 2021 certification of the appraisal roll. AB 2, approve the anticipated collections for 2021 of 100%. AB 3 is take action on the tax rate. Mr. Vela.
Yes, ma'am. And I will call on Ms. Barrera. She'll be making the presentation for these next three items.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Just for y'all's information, this afternoon, we met with Ms. Gomez and Mr. Vela to discuss the numbers and the changes that took place. And part of that meeting also was my chief deputy, Marilena Morales, who's a Esquire lawyer. And then Adriana Martinez, who's my operations administrator. And then Mr. Eddie Torres, he's by profession an accountant. He's now the supervisor of the bookkeeping department or the accounting department. And then in the back, with the white mask, is Juanito, Juan Almanza. Yes, and he's our techie guy with everything doing with the computer. So we've been working very hard. The state didn't download the forms. We couldn't get started sooner. We had to wait for the state to download the forms, and that happened Friday at 5:20 in the afternoon. We stayed later into the evening just to review, to print and everything, just to look at the document. We worked on Saturday. The appraisal district downloaded the certified appraisal roll about 5:30 Friday afternoon. So we were able, and I'm very grateful that we had the weekend, because it is very complicated and it's new. And there were so many different formulas and everything that it did take us quite a few days. And we finally finalized your all's tax roll, yesterday late in the evening. So we're just grateful. Anyway, I do have, and that's just for a bit of information. I do have the certified tax roll, and I'm gonna give it to you, Madam Chairman.
Yes.
This, okay. And what happens is that the certified appraisal roll, by the action we're gonna take today, that appraisal roll will become the tax roll for Laredo Community, or Laredo College, okay? And I will begin, there are 93,431 accounts that are part of LC, and the real property is valued at, which is your land, and that's $5,727,424,483. That is the value. On the improvements, it's $12,149,423,969. And the personal property, that's $1,985,363,824. And the minerals that are part of LC is $1,011,195. The total appraised value is $19,863,483,000.
$223,471. Following are the exemptions, the full exemptions, which is the real property exemptions, personal property, and that equals to 2,700,000, and these are minuses. It's 2,760,816,912. The ag exemptions are 206,594,056. The Freeport exemption is 226,819,149. The pollution control is 4,699,654. The homestead cap loss is 54,962,184. The partial exemptions are those, the first one is any homestead that's over 65, and that's 304,811,147. The disabled persons, they're also on their homestead. The total exemptions are $26,382,259. The disabled veterans, that is $119,089,911. The mass, that is the surviving spouse of somebody that died during the military, okay? And that's $292,167. And the solar exemption is $393,440. The LIH, that's the low income housing, that's $5,309,296. And the FRS, it's a surviving spouse, someone who died. There was they were either more. I'm trying to remember what the F is, but I'll remember. Anyway, that was $215,803, and that is just one person. And that person, her spouse, was in an ambulance helicopter, and they were taking a patient to the hospital, and it crashed, and everyone died. And the wife now lives in Laredo, and she qualified for it. That's what it is. Okay, so the total exemption is $3,710,384,978, and we subtract that from the 19 billion. So the total net taxable value is 16,152,838. Let me start again. 16,152,838,493. Then we have what's now called the limited taxable value. And what that is, and that is not 93,431, that's a typo. It's less than that. Anyway, that is what we used to call, Judge and other members of the board that have been here before, the taxable freeze accounts. It is now called the limited taxable value. And once we adjust, and that limited or freeze taxable value is $1,059,931,969. We subtract that and we get a freeze or limited adjusted taxable value of $15,092,906,524. Okay. So now this, by you all accepting this document, it now becomes your tax roll, your certified tax roll. So, Madam Chairman, you take a vote.
So I have Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos for a motion. And I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Legal counsel, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Madam President and board members. I think we should clarify the motion. So there's 3 items here. The first item is to approve the 2021 certification of the appraisal roll, approve and accept. That would be my recommendation for the first motion, that the board approve and accept the 2021 certification of the appraisal roll presented by Ms. Barrera.
Taxable, it'll be the certified tax roll.
Tax roll, excuse me.
Certified, okay. So, Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
So I'm modifying my motion to approve the 2021 certification of the appraisal roll, taxable appraisal roll.
The tax roll.
Taxable.
The tax roll.
Okay, so a second by Mr. Delgado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Let me make this observation, just as a matter of information. Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos is a member of the appraisal board. And in effect, of course, a representative and representing our college.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
So let me finish so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on 8B1. Correct, Mr. Mayor?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
I just want to take a moment to express my appreciation to not only Ms. Barrera for coming back, of course, but putting all of this together, but I also want to congratulate and also acknowledge Mr. Martin Villar. He is our Webb County Appraisal District Director or President, and the compilation of these numbers, he makes sure that everything is sent out by the end of July. So he works diligently along with his staff to make sure that any objections to any of the evaluations are, addressed. The review board is another board that is appointed by the district judges. So I want to commend the department for having everything ready for us to make sure that we vote on our tax rolls. So I appreciate that.
May I add something, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It was very important because you all run in a shorter calendar. You don't have September to work on a tax rate or anything. So we were very grateful that we were able to get the information on Friday rather than on Monday, the 26th. So that gave us 3 days to work at getting these computations. And because it was new, it was very difficult. So yes, and we actually had a meeting with the state controller. We had 3 people from the state controller, thanks to Ms. Morales, who by the assistance of State Representative Guillen, got us to speak on a one-to-one, because what we had seen over the weekend, we had a lot of questions. And our interpretation and the interpretation of Mr. Villarreal, and some of them we collided or we didn't agree. So Ms. Morales was able to get help through State Rep Guillen, and he got us the people where we were on Zoom. And a lot of the questions that we were in conflict with, we were able to clear them, and yes, we needed to clear them. And Mr. Villarreal also was able to obtain more information to help the other entities. So very grateful. This is Ms. Morales.
Yeah, we don't want to leave our own dear Tracy King. He got us a name person, a person with a name at the comptroller's office who's been answering questions all day today. Lupita,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
That's right, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
So I was just wondering.
We've got some
Thank
very
you.
active state reps to help us.
Thank you.
Let me make this observation. We're
Chair
very
recognizes
fortunate.
Judge Martinez.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I apologize. I
That's
should have
okay.
asked, for the, we are very fortunate that we have our state representative, Tracy King, in addition, a former member of this area or this district also was Mr. Guillen, who right now is not representing this county, but he still has strong identity.
Yes.
And he is the state rep for the lower Rio Grande Valley area. So we really are very grateful that you were able to count on his support and his help in providing you with that information that obviously was very much needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So,
So the next item is the approve the anticipated collections for 2021 of 100%.
okay, Senate Bill 2 changed that. In the past, we could say 100%, but that was the max we could say. This year, we had to compare the present year, 2020, 2019, and 2018. And based upon the lowest number of collection, that's what we ended up choosing. For 2020, our collection rate was 108%. For 2019, 104%, and 2018 was 106%. So based upon the new rules, we had to choose 104% as the anticipated collection rule. Am I correct, Marilena?
Yes, I'm gonna handle, we did a real simple. Instead of going through the whole process.
Thank you.
We didn't add it when we did the certification. This is just for purposes of illustrating how we got to the percentage. It's a second page that I just gave to Mr. Vela.
It says on the top, it's anticipated collection rate, and gives the numbers. And this is based on the lowest of the actual collection rate of the previous years, according to section 26.04 H of the property tax code of 2019.
Yes. Thank you.
You'll see the numbers there.
Here.
And what you're gonna see, you'll see 2020, 2019, 2018. The first amount was what we anticipated. That was what we, in 2020, we said we would collect 10,219,859, which in actuality, what was collected was $11,888,896, giving us 108%. And so it goes for 2019 and 2018. Each year, the collection rate was higher. And this is based upon July the 1st, which is the first day of that penalties and interest are charged, all the way to June the 30th. And those rules are given by the state, and those are the numbers that we use. So we know today that this was the actual collection for 2020, for 19. It's not like we hope it will be at the end of the tax season. For us, the tax season has ended because it's June the 30th at that point. It's very crazy because we know that the tax season starts October 1st to September 30th, but the calculations start July the 1st, ending on June the 30th. So anyway, but those are your numbers, and so for this year, the $11,088,896 were actual funds collected. And we minus what was necessary, the funds that the unit felt it needed was the $10,219,859. So the excess money was $868,738. And part of what Senate Bill 2, the whole reason, and let me give you a little bit of history. The senator that took charge of doing all this reform is Senator Paul Betancourt from Harris County. But before he was senator, he was a tax assessor collector for Harris County. He's a CPA by profession, and he learned the whole inside of the taxes. And being a man of numbers, once he got into the Senate, he started working on this reform, and it's the first time that the tax code has been reformed. What, 38 years? 38 years since its inception. when the appraisal district was created, there had been no changes. And in essence, the reason why the appraisal district was set up was to increase values. And the reason was, there was a lawsuit against the state of Texas by the poor schools, and they were found to be guilty, the state of Texas, of not funding the minorities. And so they were told by the court, you have to help subsidize the poor communities. And we fall into that. So to help lessen the burden of the state, what they did is every year, our values go up. And that helps to lessen the blow on the state. What this is doing, the state is going to take its place and do what it has to do. And the excess funds, the way that he felt, or the whole Senate, I guess, who voted for it, is that government is not to have a piggy bank. You're not supposed to be building a chest, okay? Your job is to, every year, you say, this is what I need to do my function as a government. And if you collect more, the next year, you're gonna reduce that. That excess is gonna help fund the next year. You're not gonna go and put it away in the back. And that's part of what Senate bill is doing. That's the reform. And what does that do? It's gonna lower the burden on the taxpayer. Okay? We're never gonna see a refund, but we're gonna see it by the entities having to lower their debt. If an emergency comes, a building burns, you have to bring it up. At that point, this will allow you to raise your tax rate to help you build that thing back up. So it helps that more than anything, I believe it's for us, the taxpayers, to help us with the burden of government. So any questions at this point? So would you please accept the 104, please?
Madam Chair.
Collection rate.
The chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the anticipated collections for 2021 of
104%.
104%.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have a motion. I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'd like to recognize Mr. Esteban Rangel has joined our board meeting.
I have one more thing that needs to be the certification of the excess collections and anticipated collection rate. And this is a certified letter that I've provided that's notarized. And may I read it into the record, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I, Patricia Ibarrera, Webb County Tax Assessor Collector, as collector for the Laredo College, hereby certify that the excess collections for debt service, the interest and sinking fund, for the taxable year of 2020 is $868,738 as of July the 29th, 2021, and said amount is true and correct. I further certify that the anticipated collection rate for the taxable year of 2021 is 104%. This certification is submitted to the Laredo College by the duly designated officer who prepared the 2021 tax rate calculation worksheet. Patricia Ibarrera, RTA.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
Mr. Muir, can we make a motion to accept this certification of excess collections and anticipated collection rate? Right, so is that part of it also?
Yes.
Or separate? Because this is the excess. And we just said anticipated collections for 2021 of 104%, but we didn't put into that motion the excess monies. No?
No, we do. Yes. Madam Chair, Maria Elena Morales, Chief Deputy for Webb County Tax Collector. Yes, you must accept both. We're certifying to you that that was the excess that was collected. We gave you the number in that little chart.
Yes,
You told us last, now this is just debt service.
right.
Because it's not millions and millions, it's $10 million that you needed last year to cover your debt service, and we collected 11 million. And so the excess, and you're gonna see when we submit to you the truth and taxation form, that made a difference in this year's no new revenue tax rate, and in your voter approval tax rate that is forthcoming, that we anticipate will be in your website tomorrow.
Madam Chair,
So I have, wait. I have, Chair recognizes Mr. Martinez. Judge
Thank you, Madam
Martinez.
Chair. I, in behalf of all members of our board, we want to congratulate, compliment Ms. Barrera, because we're very fortunate that we have a very meticulous person that actually has now taken over this particular position that has had a very positive impact for our community as well as for our college. And I'd like to acknowledge that into a motion, hoping that the other members of the board will support my compliments to Ms. Barrera. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mr. Muir. I see you nodding in the back.
The item is very specific on the agenda. And I think that's why you asked me a question about whether we could make the second motion. Mr. Ramos asked me about that, because if you read up agenda, we're on 8B2, correct? We're on 8B2. And that says approve the anticipated collections for 2021 of 100%. Since we'd already done made a motion to pass on that, I had thought, well, let's get the advice of the Webb County tax assessor for the second motion. They're advising the board that it is needed, so that should be done. You know, I think that the item of this third motion that we're thinking about is probably outside of the parameters of this, but you know, if you do it, there's probably not going to be ramifications about it, because it's a motion to complement the tax assessor, but it's outside of the scope of the.
Let me explain something, and that is that I think the agenda item was drafted prior to really looking at the requirements under the SB2 Senate bill that became effective January 1st of 2021. This didn't happen last year. So I don't see a problem if you delay it for the next meeting. I understand from Mr. Vela that we don't want any questions, particularly because under this new Senate bill, one taxpayer can sue you and stop the whole process. So I don't have a problem with delaying that vote, and we can bring it up in a proper item on the agenda. But the agenda was formulated prior to us discussing with Mr. Vela the new requirements of Senate Bill 2. So he says that, advises that there probably will be a meeting on the 4th of August, and we can bring it up at that time.
Okay, so Chair recognizes Mr. Muir.
And just to elaborate on that, I think item 8B3, that is what I believe administration will be asking the board to consider at the August 4th meeting. So that would be, I don't believe that there will be a vote on that today. That's what was explained to me earlier this afternoon. So this other motion that we're talking about could be also entertained on August 4th.
Yeah, we'll leave it for.
Okay, so Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
So I would say to leave it because it is not on the agenda, and it was done, it was prepared before. The agenda was prepared prior to Monday, right? So I would ask that the board leave the certification of excess collections and anticipated collection rate for the next meeting date, plus also, and I would reserve to make the motion at that time, but also the take action on the tax rate. So those two items.
So your motion is
to defer, or, well,
I
actually,
think
I
item
don't
number, I think the anticipated tax collection was okay, is that my
Correct.
understanding?
That's correct.
Yes, that was,
That's approved.
yes.
Correct.
Yes,
So where your motion is to
My-
delay
the excess.
the excess and the tax action on the tax rate.
Right, correct, right,
Which is
Mr. Rivera?
AB
Yes.
three.
That would be fine.
So that's my motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
So we will be giving some things to Mr. Vela for tomorrow, so they can put it on your website and on your TV station. And then after the 4th, I will have to start doing publications in the paper and publishing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Any
Mr.
other
Vela.
questions for me?
Appreciate you and your team for being here with us tonight
Thank you.
and all your hard work that you've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I still have that.
And we still have a motion by Mr. Judge Martinez. Can you,
Complimenting Ms. Barrera
Yes.
for her work.
so I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, we can't because it's not on the agenda. Mr. Muir, can we vote on this motion that Judge Martinez has? To compliment,
Yeah, and again, I think it's a complimentary motion, but it's not on the agenda. It's,
Well, I appreciate all of you, and I know we'll be continuing to work with Mr. Vela, with you guys. And congratulations on your new post. God bless you.
Thank you,
all.
Barrera.
thank you, Chair, recognize Mr. Delgado.
Yeah, just wanted to say, Ms. Barrera, thank you very much for everything that you've done, as well as your leadership, along with your deputy, your staff, and most importantly, your IT personnel. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean,
Chair recognizes Mr. Muir.
And certainly that's a proper motion. You could do it on August the 4th. And,
Yes.
you know, I'd encourage,
So, Judge,
the
we'll-
judge would like to do it. So that would be
Okay.
something we could add on. August
Thank you,
4th.
Counselor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna say that. For the August.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other discussion? No. Okay, so I'm gonna move to 8C, appointment of committee to evaluate, score, and rank firms submitting statement of qualification for financial advisory services. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Yes, members of the board, this next item is to ask that the board appoint a committee to evaluate, score, and rank firms submitting statement of qualifications for financial advisory services. We have issued out a request for qualifications. We have already received 2 responses, one from our current financial advisor, Estrada Hinojosa, and the second company is Tijerina, Galvan, and Lawrence. The RFQ, again, requests that a committee be appointed by the district's board of trustees to evaluate, score, and rank the firms submitting qualifications. This is a 2-step process. The first process will be to evaluate qualifications, and the second step would be to negotiate the fees with the highest ranked firm. Part of the process asks for interviews to be conducted with the firms that are selected by the committee as most qualified. Again, being that we only have 2 firms that submitted proposals, if it is okay, we could already schedule those also for August the 4th to be done at that time. That way, the board can.
Do we have a date on that RFP?
I'm sorry.
Do
The
we have a
RFP,
date?
they've already, it's already closed.
Oh, it already closed.
Yes, so we already have 2 firms that submitted the qualifications for this.
Madam President,
Yes, Chair recognizes Ms. Mattis.
I'd like to volunteer for this committee, but I'd like to ask Mr. Vela, so what you're suggesting or recommending is that we interview them at our next meeting and then do the scoring afterwards, or will the scoring take, obviously, it's next week already?
Part of the process is to interview the firm, so I think it's important, it's part of the process, so it's important for them to come in.
So it's first we interview and then the scoring would take place at another date.
Yes.
I'd like to volunteer.
Ms. Mattis is a volunteer. And I want to recognize Ms. Ramos.
I just want to ask a question, because, so appointment of a committee would be certain people from the board, in addition to other individuals, like from your department, or, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
or the entire board? What is, what are you
What have we
recommending?
done in the past?
In the past, it has, the board has appointed the finance and audit committee at times. And again, we've also seen where in committees, we've had committees for evaluations of proposals where the full board has participated. And we've had a combination also of administration and board members participate. So again, it's a choice of the board.
I did hear Ms. Elizondo would like to participate as well.
Madam Chair.
And Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Yes, why don't we just do it, just take it to the finance committee and then them, I guess, review it and bring it to the board, to the full board. I think that's what the committee is for. finance.
And we can do that, but we have two board members that would like to participate and they're not in the finance committee.
Oh, they're not.
Unless they join the finance committee to interview.
You'll have a quorum.
Yeah, we'll have a forum.
Who is in the finance? It's.
I am.
You know, I'm not gonna be here next week anyway. So.
I know I'm in the finance committee, and I think it's JD, and
So it's 1, 2.
can we either
No.
appoint for, instead of for that day?
Someone
So Ms. Vella's gonna be gone.
Mhm.
someone can take my place.
That's what I mean.
So Ms. Montes can take her place. Chair recognizes Mr. Muir.
I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize. I promise I'll be quiet. I think the board has plenty of flexibility on composition of the committee. So if you wanted to appoint the finance committee members, you could do that and then add a member or two. If we do have a quorum, we'll just have to post the meeting. We'll have to have a formal, it's a committee. It's a committee of board members. It's more than 4, so you'd have to have a meeting. It's not the whole board, and then the committee's function would be to evaluate, score and rank, and there would be a recommendation made to the board. So you have flexibility.
So we can do the finance and audit committee, plus add Ms. Montes and Ms. Elizondo to that committee. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
Mr.
correct.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You could if that's what you wanted to do.
So we have,
Do we need a motion for that?
yes, we need a motion for that.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so it's the audit and the finance committee.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. Well, I want to make a motion to appoint the audit and finance committee and adding Ms. Karina Elizondo and Ms. Amaris to that group for that particular meeting only. That's my
Correct.
motion.
So I have a motion by Mr. Rangel. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
So I have a second by Ms. Vela. Any discussion? Yes.
I would just
Chair
like to add-
recognizes Ms. Ramos.
To Mr. Angel's, if you could say, for the financial advisory services, because this is only for financial advisory
Yeah,
services.
there's that.
As amended.
As amended. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for the financial advisory services.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
So the special board meeting is scheduled August 4th. Would you all like to meet August 3rd, the day before? Or, we just need to know so that way we can schedule that as well.
Do we have enough time to post it since we're gonna have several board members?
You would.
We would?
Can you,
Yes.
That has to be posted tomorrow.
tomorrow,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yes.
Elizabeth is here. Okay. So the additional member, are you all available on August the 3rd?
I am not. I'm not.
I'm not. Ms. Elizondo, Ms. Mares?
Unless you do it on the 4th at noon.
Can we do it at noon on the 4th?
But then, can you do it at noon?
So then at noon on the 4th. Can you do it at noon?
I don't think I'll be able to.
I can do both the third or the fourth.
I could do noon on the 4th.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay. So it's gonna be on the 4th at noon.
Perfect.
And then the regular board meeting.
And the
is
regular board meeting
at
at
6.
At 6.
It can also
That's
be
at
on,
noon and then at 6.
Yes.
Yes.
it can also be on Monday too. I mean, I just said the day before, but if you all prefer the noon, it doesn't matter.
So it's the 2nd, we can do it on the 2nd in the afternoon or the 3rd. No, the 4th at noon. The 3rd is not available. The 4th at noon. So what will work with everybody?
Monday works best. I can do Monday too.
You can do Monday?
I can
You
do
can't
Monday
do
or
Monday.
Wednesday. Monday,
We'll
Tuesday,
do the 4th at
Perfect.
noon.
Okay, yeah.
Done.
At noon, okay?
Thank you, yes, ma'am.
So,
Do we need a motion to say that?
well, I need to, no.
No, that's,
No.
that's just.
That's just for us to get it posted.
Oh, good.
Okay, so the next item is 8D, appointment of committee to evaluate, score, and rank firms submitting statement of qualifications for financial audit services. Mr. Cesar.
Madam President, members of the board, this item again is also to request that the board appoint a committee to evaluate, score, and rank the firms submitting statements of qualification for financial audit services. Again, we did issue an RFQ. We also have two responses, one from our current auditor, Garza Gonzalez and Associates, and the second from Carr, Riggs, and Ingram.
Madam Chair.
Chair recognizes Ms. Mattis.
I'd like to make the motion that we have the same committee that was appointed for the advisory services, which is the Finance and Audit Committee alongside with the other two members, to rank score the firms for financial audit services on the 4th. In the same.
I second that.
Second.
So I have a motion by Ms. Mattis, I have a second by Ms. Ramos. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and it will be on the 4th at 12 noon. Oh, Mr. Rocha.
I do have a question. For this particular RFQ, it does not require a presentation from the firms. However, it is an option, and I don't know if that is something that the. board
I would like to see, I would like to see a presentation.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go ahead and contact the firms.
Thank you.
Are we okay, Mr. Muir?
Yes.
I didn't see the hand over there, but I wanted to make sure. So the next item is 8E, and it's approval of fall 2021 enrollment incentives. Dr. Fred Solis.
Good evening, board members, President Tijerina, members of the college. Fred Solis, Vice President for Student Success and Enrollment. Agenda item 8E brings two proposals to the board for their consideration as incentives to help students realize their fall 2021 enrollment. The first is a debt forgiveness initiative, which is really a student re-engagement initiative. This proposes to write off student debt that students might have incurred on or after March the 13th, 2020, that is owed to Laredo College. And the purpose of the incentive is to eliminate any financial barrier that currently may exist that impedes students from enrolling at the college.
Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
Ms. Dr. Solis, do you know how much we
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
forgiving?
As of now, up to summer session 2, or up to summer session 1 rather, we're looking at writing off about $303,000, which can then be recovered through the emergency CARES money. And that represents 768 holes that would be removed that currently impede registration.
Thank you.
The second, any other question on the write-off? The second item is a tuition fee waiver. This is actually a retention discount to help keep students enrolled or have them enrolled. This initiative proposes to waive the tuition fee portion only of the enrollment cost for the fall semester to all students who are enrolled or would enroll for fall 2021. So if you consider that a student who enrolls for 12 hours, they would be discounted $600 for those 12 hours, because it's only the tuition portion of the fee that would be discounted. And for that, we're looking at, given the previous fall enrollment, we're looking at discounting about 2.7 million, which can then be recovered through the emergency CARES fund.
Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
Dr. Solis?
Yes.
So, in order for the student to have the tuition fee waived, they have to fill out a financial aid form. The FAFSA has to be filled out prior to that, or
No,
do
not
they
in
just
this
come
case.
and?
This is any student that enrolls either for a credit course or a non-credit course, such as an open enrollment course. When the calculation of their charge is run, it'll just omit the tuition fee component of that calculation.
Can we, go to the website and update that? Because I checked the previous page and it did say that there was some, different incentives that were being offered, but it was for last year. And
Yes.
so I want to make sure, there was a couple of students that were asking the question about what incentives are we having, and, and they were looking at that, and specifically, it was from a Facebook post.
Sure.
Actually, a person was asking the question.
Okay.
So just to update, because the incentives are still listed as the other ones, and they were wondering,
Yeah.
is there gonna be any incentives for this semester? But of course,
Yeah.
I,
Some of the tuition waivers that we implemented this year were left in effect for summer session 2.
yes.
But now that summer session 2 is pretty close to completing, then we will remove all of that information
Okay,
and
I
update it
appreciate
with this new incentive information.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So,
So these
Do I
are
have
the
a
two
motion?
proposals.
Oh.
These are the two proposals before the.
okay. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I motion to approve the fall 2021 enrollment census.
Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Legato, I have a second by, and I have two from Ms., I have three, I had Ms. Elizondo. So any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, if I may, I would like to recognize
Yes,
the
Dr.
effort of the
Solis.
committee that has been working on this, beginning with Mr. Cesar Vela, VP of Finance, followed by Ms. Norma Cano, the bursar for the college, followed by Mr. Stephen Aguilar, Financial Aid Director, and also Ms. Susana Carriona, Restricted Grants Accountant. All of us have come together to put this plan together.
Thank you very much.
Great plan, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Vela, for giving us one.
Thank you.
Next item is 8F, approval to allow college president to negotiate and enter into interlock cooperation contract with Texas Department of Public Safety, DPS, for lease of building P24, Mr. Cesar.
So, Madam President, members of the board, we're asking that the board authorize the interim college president to negotiate a contract between the Laredo College and the Department of Public Safety, DPS, for the leasing of building P24 to establish highway patrol office here at the Fort McIntosh campus. The agreement, financial terms of the agreement include an investment of $218,790 for construction updates to the building. Those costs will be fully reimbursed by DPS over a 24-month period. In addition to that, for the first 24 months, DPS will pay an additional $14,400 for operational costs. For the remaining 36 months, DPS will be paying $3,000 a month for rent, and that will cover, again, operational costs for the institution. Some of the costs that are not included are utilities, for example, electricity and internet service, as well as janitorial services. The DPS will be reimbursing us for water. Included in your package is actually Exhibit D, and that gives you a detail of the payment schedule that has been proposed by DPS. Like I mentioned, for the first 24 months, they will be reimbursing us for the construction costs in addition to $14,400 for operations. And then for the remaining months, it'll be $3,000 a month for rent.
Madam Chair.
Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Yes, we reviewed this in the building committee and I motion to approve item.
So I have a motion by Mr. Rangel, I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vela.
Thank you, Mr. Vela. Thank you, Mr. Vela.
8G, discussion and possible action concerning the nursing and allied health buildings at Laredo College, Fort McIntosh campus. Dr. Maricela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Marisa Rodriguez Tijerina, interim president. What we're proposing here is just simply removing the instructional program name. So in other words, as stated in the packet, what we're going to propose is just calling it the Lopez Building and the Garcia Building, as opposed to having nursing or allied health attached to the buildings, because it's causing a lot of confusion with community members and students where they think that is still our instructional building, and they have, as you know, moved to the south campus. So we want to preserve the name, but just take off the instructional name.
I so move, Madam Chair.
So I have a motion by Judge Martinez. I have a second by Ms. Vela. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 8H, approve modification to Laredo College Board Policy, DC Local Employment Practices, Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos and Dr. Maricela Rodriguez Tijerina.
You want to take it out? Does it matter?
With you board members, there's revised 2 options for you, which indicate that the president would have the final authority, however, notify the board prior. And so there's 2 options, whichever you deem would be more appropriate. One's both say director and up, which I believe a month ago that was you all's discussion. And so the second one is the one that legal had reviewed in your packet. It's a loose one that was put in your packet.
Mhm. Madam Chair.
Yes. Yes, chair recognizes. Ms. Ramos?
Sorry.
Oh,
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the second one, which reads, however, before employing contractual personnel at the director level and above, the college president must provide notification to the board. And I underscore notification.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? No, no discussion?
But I have a comment. I like the way you put it, I really like that, because it stands out.
Yeah. It was the addition.
But I really like it, thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you also to Ms. Elizabeth, who helps me as well.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the information items. 9A is student activities and future programs. Dr. Maricela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Yes, Maricela Rodriguez Tijerina, for the record. We have Mr. Carmelino Castillo with us today to talk about student orientations.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. Marcelo Rodriguez Tijerina, executives, and guests here at Laredo College. My name is Carmelino Castillo, Director of Student Life for the record. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you or present to you information of this year's 2021 New Student Orientation Program. This year was a little bit different than last year, as last year we had a virtual platform. So this year we started engaging our students to come back on campus, come visit our campus, come see all the new innovative things that we've offered. But with that said, this video, I decided to create a video, if not because I can talk for days. And so I'll prefer to show you a video of all the innovative activities that our students encounter. Because remember, this particular group of students spend their last year of high school in a virtual setting. So it's very refreshing to see this group of students come to our campus and see all the wonderful, innovative things that we've done. So without further ado, and this is a premiere video, first time showing to the public eye.
Thank you.
It was so amazing to be an orientation leader. I built so many new bonds with all of you, including freshmen who came. After such a long pandemic, not being able to see many new faces, it's so refreshing to go ahead and see all these new freshmen just learn from the experiences that we're giving them. It's just so amazing to go ahead and bring all these new partners into the building and give them such an amazing experience.
My name is Greg Rodriguez. I thought that the speakers were very lively. Usually it's like we all come together and it's pretty quiet, and it's a good thing to have speakers very lively, you know, pump you up, and some pretty good music. I found everything pretty helpful. I didn't really know where stuff was. I was concerned on where my classes were going to be, so I found a very good help that they were showing us around.
My name is David Garcia. The orientation was very helpful. I learned a lot about the FAFSA and registration and everything.
I was kind of in the so-so about it, but yeah, the speakers were really good. Taught me a lot. I thought the orientation was very fun, very helpful because the seat was great. I didn't know where my classes were, so the tour was very helpful.
I do want to mention one thing about this video, that the video itself was actually produced by one of our orientation leaders presenters here. And all the presentations are conducted by peer-to-peer. So it's very beneficial that students who come to Laredo College hear it from students who've gone through the process. And so that is what makes this a little bit different than other orientation programs. And so right now, one of our successful points is that out of all the students that have attended orientation, we're having 65% of those students have registered, but we are still not done yet because we are reaching out to the remaining, right? The remaining students to get them registered for the fall semester. But more importantly, this was just face-to-face, but we're also still incorporating our online orientation program based on this information. So if you have any questions, I'll be free to answer.
Any questions? Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yes.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Was that you breaking?
No, it was actually one of my orientation leaders. This last orientation, we had a student that was singing, and so they're asking for a talent show. So pretty soon.
Very cool.
Chair, do you recognize?
Yes, Chair recognizes Ms. Elizondo.
I just want to express my gratitude. Thank you so much for delivering a sense of welcoming. It's very, very important because, I mean, a lot of them have not been in college. This is their first time, and it can be intimidating. And just by looking at the presentation, it delivers a sense of belonging.
No, definitely. One of our mantra was, I don't know if you read the beginning of the shirt, it says, on your own, but not alone. And so that is the thing that a lot of students have walked into our campus, is like feeling alone, not knowing what's going on. But as they conclude our orientation, they're like, no, we made those social connections, we made connections, we know who to come and talk to. So definitely, and thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes, secondly, we have Ms. Adriana Nunemaker, who will be presenting on the Gateway Clinic.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam President, esteemed trustees, Madam President, Dr. Rodriguez Tijerina, ladies and gentlemen that are here today. It gives me such delight to share with you the wonderful outcomes that have come out with the collaboration that we have with the Gateway Community Health Center. As you know, that their clinic, one of their clinics is there at the South Campus. So they have been very active in trying to promote their services and be able to enroll their students to be patients for there. And so one of the things that they've done is that they have hired some of our own students to be at the registration sites. And as students are coming in, even parents who come in, they stop at that table and they will register or take a registration form. So that is something that is extremely exciting also. The other thing that they've done is that they have become a member, a part of Carmelino Castillo's student orientation. He's been very kind about that. And I have to tell you, being at the South Campus, I want to go downstairs and participate in his presentation. But Mara Lopez is the one that goes over and provides also an orientation and talks about the different benefits to become a patient of Gateway Community Health Center. And then we are going to continue to look for more opportunities to promote the program. To promote not just the program, but of course, to be able to get them and their family members to understand that, you know, healthcare is alive and well at the South Campus. And so we want them to be there. It has been an extraordinary opportunity for all of us. And so we continue with our collaboration with Mr. Lopez and with his crew to be able to make this a good win for us. It's not just for student rotations, but they're really happy about that too. But they want also the patients. So does anybody have any questions?
Awesome work.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Mr. Maker. Great job. Thank you. Next item is 9B is summer fall enrollment report. Dr. Fred Solis.
Good evening, esteemed board members. Fred Solis, Vice President of Student Success and Enrollment. This evening, I have a short presentation to provide an update of where we are with our summer and fall enrollments. As you know, when I presented before, we had just completed the May semester, and that was a very successful term. But since then, we've completed summer session 1, which had an overall increase of 21% compared to last summer. Summer session 2 is turning out to be also a positive summer. We're looking at about a 1% increase as well compared to last year. This is uncertified data, but it's looking very promising at this point. In terms of the fall semester, we have been registering for over 79 days now, fall registration, and I'm only counting the days of the week, not weekends and so on, although some students can register online during that time. We did not drop students like we typically do. We normally program 2 drop dates for non-payment during this time. The first drop date was July the 25th, and with the next one coming up on August the 12th. The reason is that because we were waiting on the incentive that you voted this evening to be able to then provide this incentive to students. So we opted not to drop on the 25th of July. We will continue with registration until August the 20th, which gives us 16 working days of registration that are left before the start of the fall semester. And the fall semester will actually begin on August the 23rd. So looking at the data in terms of where we are with the summer session 1 trend, again, we did have a bump in our enrollment for summer session 1, largely driven by the growth in our summer academy. That's dual participation as well. We did have a slight increase in our non-dual students as well for summer session 1. For summer session 2, we're looking at, again, maintaining that growth at least by 1%. Again, largely driven by the almost duplication of our dual credit students that are participating in the summer academy. We did have a slight dip on the non-dual students for summer session 2. Overall, we had an enrollment of over 1,600 students for summer session 2. The fall is quite a bit of a different story. Currently, we only have 3,736 students enrolled in the fall semester at this time. And the reason for that is that we're trying to incentivize as much as possible to get students to actually consider starting their college education now versus later. I know that across the country, community colleges have suffered over 9% enrollment drops throughout the year. And so we're not alone in this. You're going to notice that in terms of our dual credit enrollment, we have not enrolled other than 7 students from dual credit. We're actually short close to 4,000 students that have yet to enroll within the next 20 days coming from the schools, largely because right now they're still working out schedules in the school districts, still with the uncertainty of how many students are actually going to return to the schools and so forth. So there's a lot of discussion going on with that right now. So within the next 20 days, we should start receiving rosters to enroll students on our side for the dual credit student. The concern continues to be on the non-dual credit student. Right now, we're about 1,500 students short to be able to at least get to the same level we were last summer. Last summer was the anomaly due to COVID, but yet we're still behind that summer as we speak right now. So overall, we're about 5,500 students that were short, that we have to make up over the next 20 days just to be on par with where we were last summer session. I'm opening it up for questions at this time.
Do we have any plans once the school comes back to look for students to come to college? Are we
Absolutely.
working on a
And
plan
so
already?
because of the efforts of Dr. Diana Ortiz, she's putting the recruitment program together as we speak. As soon as the schools come back, we're gonna go knocking on those doors beginning in August. And so it's gonna be a constant knocking on doors throughout the rest of the year. Absolutely.
Does she want to present something?
Good evening, Madam Chair, President, and members of the staff and administration that's here. Dr. Diana Ortiz, for the record, the Associate Dean of Recruitment for Laredo College. Some of the things that we're working on are very typical, of course, meeting with counselors. Let me take this off, I'm sorry. Meeting with the directors of counselors that we're already planning. We have some trips scheduled for Zapata, where we're meeting with the entire CTE team and counseling team. And on the 8th of September, we have some plans to go to Heberville and Bruni, which is the 9th. We'll be meeting with those counselors and directors of CTE. And then we're going to be meeting locally with the charter schools, which is Premier, Triumph. We're thinking about going to Holding. We're not sure about that because we know the influx right now of immigrants. We're not sure if we're going to be addressing that, but actually tackling some of the charter schools. That is in September. In August, we're actually meeting with the directors of the Laredo ISD and UISD campuses first to try to address their entire counseling department. That their UISD has one session for new counselors on the 13th and another one on the 30th of August. And LISD has, I believe it's the 13th of August, where they will be addressing all of their staff. The goal is, of course, to create awareness with the entire staff body and then start at the campus level as we're doing in September. We're going to start with our outlying departments or divisions first, and then we're going to focus on local, the local population here. And one of the things that we want to do is, of course, address the dual credit and all the traditional students, but also address the students that maybe get lost sometimes in the system that are more traditional, students from the migrant programs, federal programs, students that might not be in dual classes, might not be in a specific pathway. And that's going to be the message that we send out to the colleges. We're here to support all areas of the student populations, but we want to try to gravitate towards those students that are a little bit not forgotten, but don't have a place right now, or might not know about the workforce programs, might not know about the articulation agreements that exist. So, are there any questions?
Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
Dr. Ortiz and Dr. Solis, may I make a suggestion? Maybe to include the administrators from each campus, from the high schools, in addition to the academic coordinators as well, because they are the ones that work diligently one-on-one with the students in addition to the counselors. So our counselors take care of the schedules and they put all the schedules in order. But the academic coordinators just finished with the summer session, working with summer session students. So the academic coordinators as well as the administrators, they also work diligently with the students so that they can go ahead and I think it's important to include them too as well. A couple of years back, if you remember when Dr. Vince Solis was here, you would meet with all the counselors from all of the schools and you would have like a generalized meeting and introduction of, you know, what has happened, what was changing. Maybe that might be in the future.
We still have that, Ms. Ramos, we had to postpone it due to the COVID, even though we tried and attempted to do it virtually, it just didn't work out. But we refer to that as the day of dialogue, where we dialogue with counselors and we expose them to all of our programs, provide information about all the services that we offer. Because And again, with all due respect to the counselors, when you have a one counselor serving over 600, 700 seniors, it's very difficult to provide that one-on-one attention. And so we will go in and fill in that gap for you as well.
And I also, Madam Chair, want to commend not only our staff and also the staff of UISD and LISD, because they are diligently calling people to see why they're not registering. And they're calling parents and they're asking, and they're visiting homes to see what is the concern so that they can address it. So it is it takes a village to make this work. And definitely I'm seeing that there are a lot of parents that have concerns and have issues, but I mean, it beckons that there's a lot of people that have different roles that they're playing and that they're bringing the parents back again and letting them know about, the concerns and addressing those issues. So I thank you, our staff and also the staff from LISD and all the charter schools and UISD as well.
As you mentioned, Ms. Ramos, it takes a team to make it work. And that's why the efforts of Mr. Carmelino Castillo in forcing students to hold the orientation on campus to sort of, get them reacquainted with campus life and the true essence of being a college student.
Yes.
Chair recognizes Ms. Vela.
Let's not forget our private schools too.
Yes.
Which are very, very important. I know that counselors are there from the other, from our other college on campus, are in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
They're there, so we need to make sure that we include them too.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Solis and Dr. Ortiz.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work that you're doing. Thank you. 9C is notification of the serving alcoholic beverages at the Consejo Mexicano de Comercio Exterior del Noreste, COMCE, event as per Laredo College Board Community and Governmental Relations Policy, GDA Local, community use of college district facilities, conduct on college district premise. Mr. Michael Gonzalez, but he's not here today, so Dr. Tijerina.
Yes, I wanted to inform, Michael Gonzalez could not be here with us, but certainly I wanted to inform you all that COMCE will be having an event on campus on August 12th at the Falcon Executive Center. And I just wanted to inform, as per policy, that there will be alcohol served, but no cost, well, they are paying a rental fee, but they're not charging their guests. And I have the agenda here if you all need to review it or have any questions.
Madam Chair, is there any for a motion?
No, this is all informational items. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Yeah. Chair recognizes Mr. Delgado.
Insurance, is there any concerns with regards to liabilities, with regards to serving alcohol in that executive center?
So they will, that's a very good question, Mr. Delgado. They will be signing a liability form as well as providing the insurance as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Next item is 9D, discussion concerning Laredo College Food Services Provider, Ms. Karina Elizondo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just very briefly, this was placed as an informational item, just so we can, this is not to discuss any vendors, just wanted to let you all know, a couple of students and several organizations and numerous constituents have reached out to me regarding, having a vegan option in our menu. And I think it's important, as Mr. Castillo mentioned earlier, student life is extremely important. And I believe that it is a responsibility of the college that we are able to promote a sense of belonging and diversity. Believe it or not, there are a lot of vegans and vegetarians in Laredo. Actually, the number of vegans have increased by 300% in the United States recently. And this is the main reason why I wanted to discuss this. 70% of colleges across the United States offer vegan options for lunch, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, I mean, we already ranked #1 college, so might as well expand our diversity even in our menu. And I think it's very important, and we need to respect those who are different, who have different lifestyles. So I would like to just commend our Madam Chair, President, for allowing us to do this, and also to include this particular item or request in our RFQ. And also thank you to Dr. Rodriguez Tijerina. Thank you for your commitment to the students. And our faculty. I know there's several faculty members who are also vegetarian vegans, so we're here to serve everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Any questions, concerns, comments? Chair recognizes Ms. Ramos.
I'd like to make a suggestion for Ms. Elizondo. For the next meeting, you can start setting up maybe a motion or an item on the agenda that would indicate a request for proposals.
So it's already in place. It's already in place. I just wanted to be on the record that citizens and students' suggestions and inquiries are being heard by our board, and we're working on it. And I appreciate administration for their efforts. And if I'm not mistaken, it still has to go through the whole process. They already been released, but just wanted to let everyone know that it is actually a request that we are requesting for our vendors to submit a vegan option for our students, our faculty, and our staff. And whoever.
The chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
So there's already an RFQ for this.
Yes.
That's put out. And of course, I understand that probably the RFQ, some are gonna submit probably a menu with vegan items, and probably some without, maybe some vendors that won't. I commend Ms. Elizondo for doing this, because there is a lot of kids and probably even faculty that will probably take advantage of if there's vegan food or vegetarian food available at the cafeterias, and especially if we're planning on opening up. I think it is a very good item, to be able to commend everybody and the students and the staff. So congratulations. Good job.
Thank you, Board Member Rangel. Also, in the future, I'd like to ask the board to take into consideration that the contract or the award is contingent to offering this type of option for our students.
And chair recognizes Dr. Tijerina.
So to let the board know, we are working on the RFPs, and it is going to require the vendors to provide diversified menus, as what Ms. Elizondo is mentioning. So hopefully at the next meeting, we do, as per policy, we also have to get a student group, which I know we'll be contacting Mr. Castillo to formulate that student group. I know Ms. Ramos has participated in that in the past too, and then bring it to the board. But there's certain processes of the foods service providers as per policy. So we'll be adhering to that, and hopefully next month be seeing that in our agenda.
And if I may,
Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
That's good, but like I say, let's not disqualify, certain vendors that have, their menu is just certain food that they might not be able to provide that, and they're good food for kids and staff. And secondly, this is gonna be able to also be offered in South Campus, right?
Yes, that is
Good.
correct.
Yeah, that's very, very good, because whatever we offer in this one, I think we should offer in the South Campus as well.
Right, we hope to have multiple vendors,
Yes,
if that addresses your concern. But we'll keep the board abreast as to what proposals we receive.
Good job.
Any other discussion? Okay. So this time is 10 is executive session, 10A, closed session, discussion with the college president pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 regarding the employment, reassignment, and duties of employees due to a reorganization.
So moved, Madam Chair.
So I have a motion by Mr. Delgado. I have a second by Mr. Rangel. So at this time, it is 7:56, and the board will adjourn into executive session pursuant to sections 551.071 and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to discuss agenda item 10. Thank you.
Am I supposed to send this back now to the camera?
Oh, I need a vote, sorry. Don't leave. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Sorry. Thank you. Motion passes.
Hey, Barry, okay?
Come on.
You got that sun. That's Rusty. The sun got to you.
will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session. So on 10A, there is no action taken. No. The next item is the president's report, campus police, personnel, travel, and other reports. Dr. Tijerina, do you have anything to report?
All items are in your packet.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. The next item is number 12, next meeting dates. We have Wednesday, August the 4th at 6 PM. We have a special board meeting. And we also on Wednesday, August the 4th at 12 noon, we have a special committee meeting. On Thursday, August the 12th, 2021 at 6 PM, public hearing if needed. Thursday, August 19th, 2021, 6 PM, public hearing if needed. Saturday, August 14th, 2021 at 9 AM, board retreat.
Where will that board retreat be held?
Yes.
Falcon?
Correct.
Falcon Bank on McPherson?
Correct. We have confirmed the Falcon on the.
McPherson right across from the
Delmar.
HEB.
Yes.
Or 10:30.
7718 McPherson is, I believe is the address. I go there often, yes. Thursday, August 26th, 2021, 6 PM, we have a regular board meeting.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just wanted to let the board know that we have canceled, I consulted with Mr. Vela, and after speaking to Ms. Barrera, we are going to cancel August 12th. We only need one public hearing, so we will let you know on those dates, but I just wanted to let you all know that August 12th has been canceled.
So we're gonna meet for my birthday and then have a party.
Thank you, Dr. Tijerina. Do I have a motion for adjourn?
So move. Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Delgado, and I have a second by Mr. Rangel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, let me tell you what happened.